After we finished all the steps required in this workshop, the last step is to print what you have done or report what you
Reporting,
have
which
done.
is the
So
Gantt
we
chart.
have, which is the chart that you see over there. That's called the Gantt chart. This one, these bars. And we are going to see how we're going to report this because it's not about taking a screenshot of that and that's the reporting. No, there are steps to be taken to report. So first of all, you need to make sure what are the columns you want to have here in the columns area if you want to report this area as well. So you need to make sure what are the columns that you want. So you use the right click and then go to columns. And we have done that many times during this workshop and see if these are the columns you want them to be here or not. And if not, you click in the left arrow to bring it back. And if you are looking for something else, you go and find it. And as we already did, you can also find and then search for the column that you want to be added. And then when you locate it, click on this arrow so it will go there. To change the order of the columns, you can click on these two arrows. So this was about the columns area. Then the other steps will be about these two areas. So let's start by the bottom one. So the bottom one, I also have talked about it before. You can change the bottom area by clicking on View, Show and Bottom, and then make changes like this. Show details, and if you want to show the Gantt chart again, but this not doesn't make sense. And activity usage profile, and so on. So we're going to just leave it details, for example, or let's leave it with the activity usage profile. That's the S curve of the project. And here, this is the Gantt chart area. So what we need to be focused on, two things. The first one is the time scale, and we already changed that. So you click on right click, and then and then time scale, and then make sure that the time scale is the one that is relevant to your project duration. We were talking here about 11 days, so we wanted something relevant to that. And the other thing is to check the bars, these bars, if there's something missing. So, for example, if level of effort was not showing, like if we did this, now level of effort, like activities from the type level of effort, will not be visible. So, you need to make sure that, I think this one is enough, to make sure that the level of effort, for example, activity is there. Also, there are other stuff. So, for example, this is called the summary of the WBS. So you want it to be visible. If you don't want to, for example, just click here, then OK. So we removed it. Get back to bars, and then yes, it's this one. Also, you can change the colors, but I don't really recommend this because these are the default colors. We know when it's red, that's critical. When it's green, that's remaining. When it's blue, that's actual. When it's green, level of effort. So we that's a tradition. So you are not supposed to change it. So just keep it as is. These are the milestones, for example. Make sure that they are visible because if you do this, they are not there anymore. So these are the milestone. Apply. Here we go. And yeah, so now we checked what we want to show here and there and also at the bottom. So now we need to print. So to print your project, first you need to click on File, and then let's look at Print Preview. Here we go. So your print will be like this. So let's see how can we get to this print, this to this preview. So if you click on file and then page setup, we are printing on landscape. It's not portrait, so that's obvious. And then that's extremely important. You need to click on fit to 1 and 0. Why I'm saying this? Because your printing should, or your page should include all the information on one page wide and whatever number of pages long. So now after you made sure that this fit to one page wide by 0 tool is set, because what I want from this line is this screen. I don't want it to be divided into two pages, for example. I don't want this to be page number 1 and then page number 2. No, because I want, for example, here the columns to be next to the Gantt chart or bar chart in one page. So I want to fit the whole thing in one page. But at the same time, I don't really mind if I have many pages in the tool direction. Like, for example, I have the first 10 activities in the first page, and then the other 10 activities in the second page, and so on and so forth. So I don't care about that. So that's why we make it fit to 1 0. So the other thing is the margins. That's right, left, and top. We can also make here a margin. And this is the header. So now this is the header of our report. So it asks you how many sections you want. Let's say 4, 5, whatever the number of sections that you prefer to have. But 3 is fine. Do you want to include it in all pages or just in the first page or last page? Let's keep it all pages. And then this is the height of the header. And then, for example, that's section number 1. It shows you the logos, and if you want to change them, you can click on modify. And then if you want to add something else, you click here on photos, browse, and then here we go. And then you can adjust the size of the logo that you added. So for example, if you zoom in, here we go, and then we can adjust it this way. Here we go. That's one way. Also, if you want to write something down, we can do it here. That's okay. Also, if you want to add a variable that will be automatically linked to something in the project, for example, let's add this variable data date here, and then add variable. So here we go. So we added this new logo, and also we added this text, and we added a variable that will, this won't show as data date in the printing, it will show the data date. So I will show you how this works. And here, this is the project name. So this, for example, will show a project name, that's the variable. And we'll also show here if you want to write something down or not. So let's remove that. And here, that's showing the date and time of printing this project. If you go to the footer, it's the same thing, but here we usually have different sections. So we have here, that's the legend of the schedule. So it will show you what are the red activities, or what are the red bars. What does that mean? What is the green activities or green bars, and so on. And also page, then page number of total numbers. So this is a text. When you click on modify, that's a text, that's a variable that will change based on the project of, that's a text, and then that's a variable. And then we have the revision box for the consultant who's going to review the schedule and the approval, let's say the approval box for the schedule. And the last thing, or before going to the last thing, so let's click OK and then click on File, Print, Preview. Here we go. So we see that's the project name, that's the date that we talked about, that's page one of total pages, or the page number of total pages, and this is the revision box. This is the legend that we talked about. So that's the critical activities, the remaining work, the project baseline, and so on. And this is the new photo that we added. And also, I remember we added something else, but it is not visible here. And that means you need to adjust the height. Let's make it like this, and then File, Print, Preview. Here we go. Now it's Hello World and February 13th, 2025. That is the data date. That's what we just added. And if we get back here, no, yeah, if we get back here, that's the header. Also, another way to add the, if I added another section here, if you want to add also pictures, you can do it this way. So picture, so instead of manually adjusting it, you can just click in picture and then choose where the picture is, and resize picture to fit this section, and then click OK. So then File, Print, Preview. Here we go. Now it fitted the section without the need for you to make any changes, but the difference is here we could have added, we cannot add text as we see here. That's the difference. So whatever you want to do. And one last thing about the options. So here the options. Uh, let's start from here. First, here it asks you what are the areas you want to show in your report. So the first thing it asks you, do you want to show the profile? This is the profile. Like when you have the resource usage profile or activity usage profile, this is a profile. So in our case, we did not select that. So when you click and print preview, so it's just only showing these columns, and not all of them. It's just showing until the late start column, until the visible one. They said the Gantt chart, and here there is nothing else. So if I click on the profile here, then OK, and then go back, it will show you the resource usage profile. One other thing, which is, what if I want to print all columns? So let's see what's going to change here. All the columns that we have, because we still have more columns that are not visible, as you see. That's too much. So if you go to print preview, you are going to find that all columns now are there. And if you want to see that in a better way, let's get back here and then make the changes. We are in the print preview. We can keep making the changes in the page setup. So for example, look over here and see when I click on untick all columns and then apply, look here, it has changed. So let's get back to it. So this is about the things that you want to show. And again, we said that this is the profile, if you want to show it or not. Here we go. Or let's say, for example, if you want to show only the profile. Oh, if you want to. That's it. That's the S-curve. If you want to have only the S-curve. And let's use default. Then apply. So, And yeah. So as you see here, something has changed after we clicked on default, which by the way, it was by mistake, but it's a good exercise to have. Now we got back to the default options in the page, in the margins, header, footer, and options. So let's see how this works. When you, let's click on OK. This is what I was talking about having or limiting the wide of your project to be in the same page. Because right now, what we have is, this is page number one, and it has this part of the project. And then if you go to the second page, look, the third page, and so on. So we don't want to see this. So that's a good exercise for us. Go to page setup, and then landscape, we're good. Make this one, keep it 0, and we are good here. Let's click on apply and see what's going to happen. Apply. Here we go. That's what we are talking about. And then if you go to the two margins, that's 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, okay. And then that's the height of the header. And we had some changes here, but now all is gone. So if you want to, that's the project name, that's the layout name, that's the date and time. If you want to add something here, we can modify and do it. So we already have done that. That's the footer. So it's it's the same. Things have changed. I think here we had something else. I think we had the revision box. Yes, let's bring it back and then apply. Here we go. That's the revision box. Here, the options. Let's apply. Okay. Here, that's a good thing to have. The timescale start and timescale finish, I want them to be linked to my project, not using certain dates. So to do so, what we do usually is make it project start. That's the earliest project start, and project finish. So when you click here, look, these things will be removed. Here we go. But this doesn't look very nice because you feel there is a cut here and you started the project. So what we usually do is we say project start minus 3 days, for example, or 3 weeks, or 3 months, based on the time scale of the project. So for a project like this, 3 days are fine because we're talking about 11 days. And then when you click apply, look, and when you in the time scale finish, make it plus 3 days. And then you click apply. Here we go. So we now have a space. And the only thing that we didn't bring back is the height of the header and the footer, and we didn't add the logos that we have, but you got how we can do so. All right. So yeah, that's it for the printing setup. Okay. And then if you click on file, the print setup, that's the last thing. We are going to print on PDF. All right. Okay. So now print. All right. Microsoft PDF. And then that's it. That's the PDF. Let me bring it here. Here we go. That's our PDF. You see the critical activities. You see the activities here. You see all columns as you see. You see the the activity usage profile, the revision box, the legend, and it's obvious that this legend still, like the height of the footer needs to be more than that, so it shows all the legends. And yeah, that's it for printing.